Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Coronavirus, an unprecedented pandemic, has terrified people. The life of millions, rather billions, has been disrupted. But is it all is matter of regret? No. Every cloud has a silver lining. So has coronavirus. As a matter of fact, I perceive in coronavirus as a great teacher. This unprecedented global pandemic gives us certain lessons, lessons in leadership, and those lessons in leadership, in case they are adopted by you, practiced by you, would make you a better human being and a better leader. There can be nothing better than learning from adversity. And if a pandemic can teach you something, then it is something definitely worthwhile. I happened to read a book quite some time back, of course, about a couple of years back, Leadership in Turbulent Times. And this book studied the lives of the four US presidents. It deciphered the basic qualities of the great leaders. And it studied the four leaders in the context of adversity, adversity of their growth and the challenging situations they faced. These four presidents proved that the adversity is a real test of leadership, where the leaders collaborate with the led, with the subordinates, and improve the life of the people. That book is a reminder to change the way we think about these calamities. And today, I see 1 in 5 people is under lockdown globally. So, this is a showcase that lays emphasis on the world leaders on containing the spread of the disease itself. And let's not forget, it's not the status quo, but the leaders have to reinvent the strategies. It's very easy to follow the beaten track, but when the leaders have to reinvent a strategy to contain something they never thought of, that shows the real capability of the leader. So, what are the 5 lessons in leadership that coronavirus has taught us, taught the present leaders? Some may have learned the lesson, some may not have learned the lesson. But the future generations can definitely learn these lessons. And you understand these lessons and try to incorporate them in your life. The first is people above the bottom line, always. It's the people with the marginal people, the vulnerable people, they're the most important people. It's not the wealthy people, it's not the cream of the society, but the baseline which is important. In a national lockdown, you would find, for example, in India, on March 22nd was the lockdown, and there was shutdown of all services. Hostel closed, so the migrant labor wanted to go back. And the empathy they received from the people, from the media, and ultimately from the government. But the leaders of the government came last. So that lesson was lost on those Indian leaders. Of course, they made up for the loss by being more voluble and there are more avenues to express their thoughts. But initially, it was apparent that the top leadership had not been concerned about the bottom line people. This highlights an important point. And that important point is that during a pandemic of such menacing magnitude, for that matter, the focus should be the most important asset that any country has, any business has. And I'm in corporate business because the leadership in business is extremely important. And the most important asset is not the capital, but the people. Taking employees' first decision will go a long way in ensuring any leader's business or country management. And that leader would be able to meet and exceed the needs of the stakeholders. And that is why here in Mumbai, where I'm advising a major organization, I told the CEO close down the office even before the government made it obligatory to close it down because I wanted to look after my people. And the CEO, a bright young man, immediately accepted it. He did not hesitate for more than a minute. And he said, let's go ahead. So the first lesson we have learned, have empathy with the people. People at the lowest order. People with whom you are nothing. We might talk of the capital, we might talk of the risk, we might talk of the technology, but it's ultimately the people who matter. Second lesson, no leader can do everything. He needs a network of teams. Leaders are often grappling with the problems that are unfamiliar in such situations. So, if they follow the hierarchical communication process, then they fail. So, what is the need? An agile network of teams, groups with defined priorities and principles. Here, many people fail. Capable people like Modi and Trump created teams. Trump created team under Mike Pence to deal with the nuts and bolts. Modi did it under his group of ministers. But the main communication, which used to be hierarchical, that the spokesman would come and give the report. No, they abolished that. They themselves interacted with the people. Prime Minister Modi, who never holds a press conference, was talking to the people directly on television and on radio. Trump was talking to the people every day without fail, while he never used to talk to press. He said, no, this is a time when my people need me, when I can give them an assurance that they need. Now, look at it as compared to these two leaders, Merkel, Macron, they did not interact with the people directly. And that's why these two people, despite whatever the media might say, have emerged into more successful. Now, one thing more is very interesting, which we have never thought. We know that teams should be there, but I was observing the way of the working of these successful leaders and not so successful leaders. Each leader had two teams. One group identified the potential crisis and prepared solutions for the routine business activities. So that was pure strategy formation. For example, I received an email from the White House asking me what should be the strategy. I sent it. It goes to the Vice President Mike Pence. They refine it in the according to their needs. But basic strategy has been there. So that takes root. Now the second team implements it. The first has identified the potential crisis. The second is pursuing the action in the light of those tragedies. And no, one thing here I'll second, those actions are beyond and outside regular business or governmental operations. They are not in the usual hierarchy, and they're just the overall scheme of this. Now, this sort of two steps, one strategizing, other implementing, but outside the operational process. So the third channel has been opened. Now, the beauty is that the one channel, the regular channel, is still working on the normal way. The normal working is not disrupted, but effective control of endemic. Pandemic has been strategizing and implementing it outside that channel. So three channels are there. One, strategizing. Second, the regular business channel, which is routine channel, and the main channel dealing exclusively with the issue. Third, most important is exhibiting a calm, confident, and quick response. There was no hesitation. A good leader, he doesn't lose his cool. He maintains a cool, composed, confident, and then quick action. As a matter of fact, the action has been so quick in some cases that it's astonishing. People might criticize Modi for calling in for one day close down, which he called Janta curfew, and then lockdown. But it was quick. There can be some errors, definitely there were. But his confidence and his composed behavior, same is about Trump. He's angry when he's talking about China, but when he's talking about the people and the country, you can see his face absolutely clear. And even when the provocative questions were there, he did not lose his cool. In this unprecedented situation, the leader's character takes over. If he is unable to take action, it will be shown. And a person who is composed will be able to detach from the noise around and think clearly. So outside cacophony of noise of the media, of opposition, of detractors, the sad number of the people dying, they are material, but they should not impact the decision maker. And that process shows the learning, and that is one lesson learned, a leadership lesson, that the leader must be calm, confident, and instant response. Instant. You do not start debating. And if you start debating, no action can be taken. So that's why these two leaders have been interacting directly themselves. They did not delegate to their ministers or to their secretary. Routine jobs, yes. Third, and this is one of the loveliest lessons which any leader should learn, or any person hoping to be a good leader should learn. Master the three A's. What are those three A's? Assess, anticipate, act. Do not react. Here, Trump faltered. He did not act. He reacted. When more people died, then he took action. But Modi acted. Assessment, both were correct. Both anticipated. But delayed action by Trump by about 4 days. Every organization, every country, every situation, every business needs assessment, needs anticipation of the contingent situation, and needs action. And actually, that should be a mantra for every leader to deal with problems of such a magnitude as exhibited by coronavirus. There should be continuous exercise. And in case these three A's process can be put in a normal business situation or in a normal administrative situation, things would be much better if the leadership can anticipate, assess, and then act. Then people would not get annoyed. They know that action would be there. When the leaders react, that shows their inefficiency. So, this continuous exercise is a great leadership lesson, and I am sure that if you want to better thyself and be a good leader, you will master the art. Now, how to master the three A's? That I'll take up in another episode. Mastering the three A's. But today, I'm just talking about the lessons learned. So, this is the fourth lesson. And the fifth lesson, communication. Effective, constant communication. Thoughtful, crystal clear communication, especially in the times of WhatsApp University, the first possible social media. The most horrible social media is that stupid thing called WhatsApp. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry considers himself or herself to be an expert and starts typing. And not only that, rumors galore, wrong information, misinformation, quotes which are not there. And sometimes I wonder, what do they do? Well, I asked somebody and he said, it's from Google. I said, what the hell? Google is a search engine. It gives you the information, but then you have got to shift the grain from the chaff. Wrong things will be there, right things will be there. Google never says that the facts are verified. And WhatsApp is Google version million times over. So I call it WhatsApp University of Misinformation. So in the times of this University of Misinformation, you need very thoughtful, very crystal clear communication. That's the need of the hour. And an effective leader sees that none of the questions, none of the concerns, none of the internal stakeholders are ignored or left unanswered. As a matter of fact, the good leader would have a system in place to communicate even after a crisis, thereby inspiring the people to support the country's recovery or the company's recovery. Both, you see, after a company is a barometer of the country, both can be taken at the same level. The system of management is the same. And as the coronavirus pandemic continues to test world leaders and the corporate sector across the world, the prolonged uncertainty is all the more reason for these leaders to earn the confidence of the stakeholders, take decisions, keeping their interest at the top, interest of the country, interest of the company. The leaders and the laggards of tomorrow will be determined who will help reinforce behaviors and values that can support the governments or the organizations during such crisis. And this crisis has been a great learning school. If you have not been able to learn, fault is yours. But these five lessons which I've communicated today should be a part of the curriculum for any institution that teaches the qualities of leadership. Verily, coronavirus has been a great teacher as far as the traits of leadership are concerned. And by learning them and practicing these, you can better thyself. I dare you do that. I'm sure you'll do that. Thank you.